As you can see here, Buckingham Palace at the centre of a vast paedophile network. Queen Elizabeth's household is at the centre of a vast paedophile network. It is implicated in the Kincora child abuse scandal through Lord Louis Mountbatten and Anthony Blunt. I'm going to let you watch this now because it's going to go on a bit further. As you can see, child sex offenders linked to the royal family. 66 sexual abuse cases, the great majority involving children. Now, it's going to scroll up in a minute, and as it does, we'll get to wherever. London paedophile rings, operations and who's who from 1974. As you can see there, there's a whole list stretching through the ages, and if you want to have a look, read through them again, links will be in the description to all these lot here, and there you go, and a load more of who's who involved in these paedophile networks. As you can see, the lists just run on and on and on and on. Again, links in description if you want to go through this yourself and read it for yourself. Paedophile Information Exchange. There's a whole document about it here. Again, these links are all in the description. You can see the list of names of those involved, and well, you can't say that you don't know who's involved because it's blatantly in your face who's involved, and we all know the politicians that are involved. Not all of them, but those that get to any position of power usually are involved in the paedophile networks. You can't say you don't know. There's just lists just go on and on and on and on of, as you can see, there's just so many of them. It just goes on and on and on and on. I'm just going to let it continue to scroll up here, and you can pause it at any time if you want to have a closer look at the who's who in this, because it's such a long list. And this, like I say, in the document itself, you'll see it, the next to each name there's a source, so it gives you the source as to how they are in that position and what's going on really. Only in a country this twisted could the original inhabitants of this land be rendered unable to vote because they are perceived to not have proper residency in their own homeland. Then again, it's not like voting would ever makes a difference. The flu shot contains toxic chemicals. Not worth it, even if it comes with a lollipop. Learntherisk.org. Strongly suggest you go there and learn the risk. I know that you lot know it already, but you know what I mean. The concentration of wealth is staggering. Let's say you earned $2,000 an hour. Just let that sink in for a second. $2,000 an hour, and worked full time from the birth of Jesus to today. So you know that would make you allegedly just over 2,000 years old. Let's say you did it. And let's say you never paid taxes and saved every penny. You'd have around $8.3 billion today. There'd still be 30 Americans richer than you. What's wrong with this picture? Amish, harassed by the FDA for selling raw milk and organic food. Monsanto receives federal immunity under the Monsanto Protection Act and encouraged to sell GMOs and government subsidies. Consider this. There are 1,519 military charities in the UK. Over 1,500 military charities. Combined, they are worth more than £3.1 billion. Why is there a single homeless veteran on our streets? Vaccines are about as safe and effective as Jeremy Epstein's 24-hour surveillance. This weekend, November 11th, huge energy shift due to super new moon and Mercury retrograde, bringing burst of electric energy, ending of all things which no longer serve us. Well, that's the government then. New doors go open, hopefully. New information, spiritual awareness, higher understanding, growth, enlightenment, new soul connections, unconditional love, real love, new projects, new arc achievements, money, wealth. Type 1111 if you are ready to receive. Yeah, bring it on. I'll have it. I'll take it all. Michael Gove. Let's just talk about Michael Gove for a second. This obnoxious Tory prick has handed the property deeds of nearly 2,000 publicly owned secondary schools over to his private sector chums for free. That's corruption. People that have been gifted millions of pounds worth of taxpayer-funded school properties, including Tory peer Phil Harris, owner of Carpetright, and Paul Marshall, banker and co-author of the Lib Dem Orange Book. You did know that this is what Gove's been up to, didn't you? Democrats sell community seats for $550,000. Chairmanships for $1.8 million. Yeah, of course there's no corruption in politics in any country. Washington DC, USA is for sale. DCCC. Document shows that Democrats sell committee seats for $550,000. Chairmanships for $1.8 million. DCCC. Democrat Congressional Campaign Committee. Democratic leadership expects House members on certain committee to leverage corporate interests to fundraise higher amounts. An internal document from the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee shows leadership also requires those members to fundraise and donate specific amounts to the party. The chairman of exclusive committees, 4 committees that bank and other industries target because they deal with money and regulation, are expected to fundraise from lobbyists and political action committees with interest before those jurisdictions, and to pay $600,000 to the DCCC in dues, plus fundraisers $1.2 million for the party. The document obtained by the Intercept shows. Links in description, as all of these things are, if you want to read the rest of it. But if politics can be bought and sold, which we all know it is and can, then it just isn't worth anything, is it, really? Exclusive. Cop kills 2 innocent girls, gets off scot-free, and was just elected mayor. This is November 8th, 2019. Carroll County GA. In September 2015, on a rainy Saturday night, Georgia State Trooper Anthony Scot was flexing his above-the-law privilege and driving at dangerously high speeds for no reason. He was doing 91 miles per hour in a 55 mile an hour zone. Scot was not on his way to a call, nor did he have any official reason for driving fast. While travelling at such a high rate of speed, he slammed into a Nissan Sentra carrying 4 kids, Kyle Hop Lindsay, 17, and Isabella Alice Chichilla, 16, who were in a back seat of the Nissan, were killed. For 4 years, Kyle's family have been fighting for justice for their daughter. However, thanks to a corrupt system, well, there's a shock, isn't there? Not only has this cop avoided any and all accountability, but he's been rewarded in the form of 2 elected positions, as TFTP reported at the time. Scot was elected to City Council only 3 months after killing young Kylie and Isabella. It was also reported that he can even return to law enforcement, but that's not all. This week, as the city of Buchanan held their elections, Scot ran uncontested, and after serving as a member of the city council, it now appears that this killer cop will be mayor. There's no injustice, we know that. Oh wait, no. everything is unjust. Link to this in description. I strongly suggest you go and have a read of it. It's a PDF format, as you can see there at the top of the page. HV1 indictment, George Herbert Walker Bush, gold laundering, human trafficking. I'm just going to pick out a few of these because I ain't got time to go through them all because there are so many. But as you can see, there's one. Applicable law, how constituted, and I'll get to the juicy bits in a sec. Here we go. American Bar Association and International Bar Association affidavit of obligation, international commercial lien. Now I get asked about liens all the time. Here is a lien in this document. So those that have been asking for information on liens, the link's in the description. Have a read through. Whatever you're interested in, that I find very interesting in and of itself. I'm not going to read the document because it's a bit long. Additional lien debtors allegations. I'll read this paragraph. The American Bar Association, the International Bar Association and the Department of Justice are commercial derivations and subsidiaries of the Crown Templar or Temple Crown, whose corporate headquarters is located in the City of London, England. Is this correct, yes or no? If no, please explain. Of course it is correct. This is just part of it. Again, I'm not going to spend too long on it because it is a long document and I've got about another 3 or 4 to go through. This, wow, it just blows your mind. Again, look at that. Trusts, etc. in restraint of trade illegal penalty. Every contract combination in the form of trust or otherwise or conspiracy in I'm not going to read it all because it's just such a long document, but very, very interesting, and hopefully it will answer some of those questions I've been getting about trusts and liens. Memorandum for order of the formal prosecution for money laundering, racketeering to violate FCA and change mining law. And again, you see George Herbert Walker Bush is named a couple of times. It's because of his connection with the Carlyle Group, which we know is a big money spinning that made billions out of the Iraq invasion. And this was in the Arkansas Supreme Court for the Eastern District of Arkansas. George Herbert Walker Bush too went out of his way to make Eagle 2 a success. Your Honours must notice that he monopolised the route, even going as far as to recruit some members of the Air Force, many of whom held him in the low esteem. A well-decorated CIA general by the name of Ferreira was the hub of and go-between. Again, there's so much to this. I think this is the last one again. George Herbert Walker Bush of the Carlyle Group, you know, stuff that's going on there. This is from last year, by the way, but it's the first time I've seen it, so I'm guessing it might be the first time a lot of you have seen it. It's a reasonably long read, but even if you only go to the parts that you're interested in, then that should answer many, many questions. There was loads of bits I meant to talk about, but as I'm going through it now, I can't pick them out just off the top of my head. But you can see named in there Barrick Gold Nevada, Uranium One, Barrick Gold North America, Black Eagle Trust, Carlyle. It's a very interesting read, one and all. The Observer. Fury as decision on police probe into PM shelved until after poll. Well, what a shock. There's going to be no probe into the corruption in Parliament until after we've voted in a bunch of more corrupt bastards. Watchdog acts over political sensitivities. Labour shocked at incredible decision. Boris Johnson versus Jeremy Corbyn for the number 10 is a battle of the unfittest. Burko. Cameron thinks he is born to rule. From a jail cell. The Fail. Still £10 off Lidl again if you fancy any. Secret talks between Farage, Ally and Tories. Corbyn aids 4 meetings with Czech spies. as Labour's terrifying bill for nation revealed. You see, this is just utter bullshit. It's have a go at Corbyn. I don't like Corbyn. He's one of them. He's one of the establishment. He's one that's... Whenever anyone gets into that position, they're put there by the 1%, those that we are eternally against, and those that we are going to hold to pay for their crimes against humanity, every single one of them, and that day's coming very, very soon. 1.2 trillion. That'll cost every UK household £43,000. You see, they just make shit up because they're just guessing at this, but they make it up and they do that to try and scare you. Oh, I don't want to owe 43,000. What a bullshit! But then again, it is in the fail. So what more can you expect? Sensational new twist in saga of Playboy who lent fake art to Prince Charles. Telegraph. Scale of Labour's reckless spending revealed. Parasites. I'm not even going to read it. United in taking the piss out of those that are dumb enough to think that they're celebrating it. Well, they are celebrating those that are stupid enough to go and die for them. Rash Russia could start World War, says Defence Chief. Piss off. If anyone's going to like to start World War, it's the Brits and the Americans and the French and the Germans, because they're all the most... Well, I'm preaching to those converted here, aren't I? But just in case anyone that you know that doesn't know, you can always let them have a look. Gulag survivor. Corbyn's view on Israel has echoes of Stalin. Hospital obesity admissions top 1 million for first time. Well, that's not down to the men. Well, it is partly down to others eating too much, but it's the fact that they can't get any real nutritional food. It's all shit, and that's what they're being told. And what makes me piss the most about this is where a family will take their kids to McDonald's as a treat. Yeah, we're taking you to eat poison and most likely minced up children because Rabbi Finkelstein says they use McDonald's to get rid of the bodies that after they've drank the adrenochrome from them. So, but hey, make that what you will. Do your own research, as I always say. Express. We will remember them. Queen leads royals in tribute to stupid ones that decided to go and fight for banks, but then again they had no choice, because if it was a World War One and you were told to get up and run at their machine guns and you didn't do it, the military police would just shoot you in the back of the head and, well, you die anyway. Farage gives Tories final ultimatum. PM told Brexit Pact would destroy Corbyn's Labour. Waste of paper. Oh, and there's a bumper 4-page puzzle pull out. I'm puzzled as to why anyone buys this shit sheets. Hero granddads on the straws. It's not their fault. They thought they were doing the right thing. They didn't realise they were being had over by a bunch of corrupt criminal bastards. But now that we do, we need to bring them all to account. In particular, the Camerons and the Blairs. But all those, they're just puppets put in there to make you think they have some power. It's the ones above them we really seriously need to be going for. Chris Peckham exclusive. Anton Deck snubbed me on cruelty. And? Hell, I can't go back to the street. Well, no one's asking you to. I'm certainly not. The Sunday Times. 1 trillion Labour splurge to bankrupt UK, row over Tory estimates of Corbyn's spending. Now, the other one said 1.2, this says 1. This just shows you they're just grabbing figures out of the air and saying this is how much it's going to cost, because they're doing the usual, he's the enemy, don't vote for him, vote for the... It's all smoke and mirrors. If you're voting, you have a mental issue. You've been brainwashed. You need to come to your senses. Examine. We all know that voting doesn't make a difference, and yet you still do it. Don't be an idiot. Don't be one of their puppets. The crown is slammed over Queen's affair. Tyson Fury excuses, I'm fighting my demons. Age 90 and still taking cocaine. Arise, sir, or are you a dame? Oh, probably something to do with this transgender bullshit. Yes, it is utter bullshit. Are you a human cat? Naps all the time. Needs to be loved. Done with everyone's shit. Always wants snacks. Might want to kill everyone. Cute but will fight. Top 7 most used phrases in the UK. 1. Cup of tea. 2. The weather is shit. 3. Ache. 4. Which bin is it this week? 5. Never drinking again. 6. Fancy going pub for one. 7. Can you smell weed? Keep your marriage fresh by writing each other love notes like, I considered smothering you with a pillow last night but didn't. Paddy says to Mick, how did you get on at the faith healing group last night? Mick said, it was absolutely shy. Even the fella in the wheelchair got up and walked out.